today. Um, and I just want to talk to you a little bit about ice. And it's a discussion that I think a lot of people were in the past easily deceived by some NASA studies that showed an increase of ice in certain places in the Arctic. And so people would look at the pictures of the ice and say, see, there's more ice now than there was before. See, that proves that global warming is a lie. Well, now I've got the information to debunk that theory so that you guys can understand why sometimes it looks like there's more ice when in reality there's not. What happens is ice that's been there for thousands of years, it's hardened and it doesn't melt as fast as new ice that has accumulated over the last few years, right? So when you have the melt every year and then it builds back, sit with new ice, it looks like you've got more ice because on the surface from the satellites, there's more ice coverage on the surface. But what the satellites don't show you is that underneath that ice, it's a very thin layer, whereas before it used to be very thick and very strong and resilient. And every year it builds back up. It's getting thinner and thinner and thinner. Now, of course, it looks like there's more because of the overall coverage, but that ice disappears even faster. So if anybody ever tells you, if you're ever talking climate with somebody, and anybody ever says, oh, well, there's a NASA study that says there's a buildup of ice, tell them the difference between old ice and new ice so they'll know that they don't get it. Okay? It's sometimes seeing something isn't exactly the facts. And just because you're seeing a lot of ice doesn't necessarily mean that's the kind of ice we need to build up that's going to stay and keep those glaciers from melting into the ocean. Okay? Okay. We're good? We're good? Good. We're good? Like I give a rat's ass. You think I care whether you guys listen to this or not? You think I give a fuck? I couldn't give a rat's ass. Shh. You guys do what you want. I'm taking care of myself. You guys do what you want to do. Hey, that's all. In fact, I think I'm going to completely just stop talking about climate and cannabis and growing 4 pounds and pain oil and all the things I do to help you guys because I don't really want to help you. I'm just in it for me. That's why I'm here. I see. Oh, let me say hi to all of you wonderful people, wonderful trendies. Michael Goldsmith, Luke Day, Stephen Running. Hey, if you like hearing me say your name on my show, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Enoch, what's up, son? You've been patiently waiting for the live? Right on. Josh like toes and tattoos, Kelly, son. Jacob Jordan. That's one of those famous names. I like it. Hey, what's this? What's this? What is this? That's me. Oh, that's me. I heard some things. Josh Kelly. I like Turtles and Tattoos. Steve Running. South Pole gaining. North Pole declining. Ross Robertson. Yeah, but it's not gaining old ice. It's just gaining a sheet over the top. And all the trainings, how's it? I don't think I've ever heard my name. Okay. And Marla Kimball Weaver. Hello, Enoch. I want my THC. Kepper says hello. Kepper says drinking black tooth. Bob says, hey, it's purple punch kind of evening. Yo, Josh Kelly. Enoch says, Stephen Running says, not a lot. Not a lot going on, son. Okay. And I can let this kitty cat back in the house. Let me make sure the kitty cat has food. Which he does. He's got food. He's got water. Everybody's good. Are we good? Are we good? Okay, so. All right, now. What's up, KNN THC Squad? What's up, son? Josh Kelly's got my oil. Thanks for the extra stickers. Deb, did you get some extra stickers in your box? Did I give you a little surprise, Deb? Did I throw some stickers in there for you? Look, those of you guys that go and you get the 8-ounce jars and the bigger jars, I do appreciate it. So if every once in a while I throw you a little swag in there, that's just me saying thank you. Much love and respect, beautiful people of the world. Okay. What am I doing here? I'm smoking some of that good. Some of that goodness. I'm going to smoke hits here. I'm going to do this in one hit. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I'm going to grind this up in my fingers, and I'm going to try to smoke this all in one freaking hit. If I can or can't, we will see. You guys that are on Twitter helping me out, thank you. Keep at it. Keep nailing David Pakman. Keep nailing Michael Signorelli. Keep nailing Dean Abdallah. Keep going against Jimmy Dore. All these people, man, just keep throwing my stuff at them, man. And maybe one day we'll get recognized, which would be fantastic. Hey, your music session night before last was tight. Thanks, Ross. Sure did, thanks. Yes, much love and respect, beautiful people. Enoch, I'm taking care of my buddy's pug. That little fucker is like a bulldozer. Okay, no law regarding cannabis. Let's call this one 420 late in Newfoundland, and then we'll do top of the hour here in a second. Cheers, everybody. These, hey, wait, I've got to turn off this fan. Hold on a second. I've got a new carpet shampooer. It makes me so happy. It brings joy to my world, this carpet shampooer. And, boy, it's a Bissell, and it works so freaking good. And I did some shampooing earlier today in the house, and the carpets just look so nice, man. I'm getting all the stains out. All right. Helped my neighbor so much with her shingles. Let her sleep 4 hours straight since last Sunday. Cool. Now you got to make her some edibles so she can sleep through the night. All right. Cheers, guys. Such a big hit. Damn. Oh man. Oh man. Oh. Hey Jesse. I just got the shit beat out of me on that fucking dab. I mean that bong rip. Dude, I can't even think right now. So you guys might be wondering, hey man, if the satellites are tracking the ice, and the satellites say there's more ice building up on the tops, how do they know how thick that ice is? Well, this is crazy. But it's from submarines, guys. It's from these submarines that the military runs all over the world. And when a submarine is working in the Arctic, frozen areas, they have to know how thick the ice is so that when they surface, they can penetrate through the ice and get oxygen, right? If that ice is too thick, they can't do it. So they keep track of how thick the ice is, and it's been getting thinner. And what they're finding is that submarines can basically surface just about anywhere now. When that old ice is all gone, and it's replaced with new ice, and it continually melts down and comes back up and melts down and comes back up, there won't be as much every time coming up. It'll be less and less. So this is demonstrated actually really well on a YouTube video that I watched today from a guy who I don't always agree with, but his channel is called Just Have a Think, and he's a very intelligent guy, but he is biased, and I'm going to tell you why he's biased. yes, he's a scientist. Yes, he has a very good understanding of climate. But he used to work for Big Oil. And his job was to go around and survey sites so that they could find out the impact of what their drilling is going to do on the environment. That was his job. So he's biased when it comes to Big Poison. He worked for them. And you can see it whenever he's talking about shit. It comes through. But that being said, he does a lot of research and he brings a lot of information to the table. And you guys know I just love that. So, like I said, it's called Just Have a Think. And I'll go ahead and we'll flip it around backwards and we'll speed it up and we'll watch it together. It's a 16-minute video. It'll probably only take 8 minutes because we're gonna play it, or it'll probably take 9 or 10 minutes. But we'll play it fast. And here, let's bring it up here and we'll reverse it. Right? Let me make him full screen. Okay, great. And we'll put him right here. I'll be right here. And let's just move me over here a little bit. And we're going to smoke top of the hour here in just a second. And you guys, please pay attention to what he says, okay? Please pay attention. He's going to explain to you the difference between new ice and old ice. And he's going to explain to you the effect of increased heat on the planet, okay? Listen to what he says. If it loads. The video's not loading for some reason. There's a human being making coffee. Or possibly tea. Tea it is. Okay, this is not working. Give me just a second here. Let's refresh the page. Seems to be some kind of a glitch.
0 degrees Celsius, which is the freezing point.
I really want you to hear it from the beginning. I'm going to turn it up. And please, I know we're going to be getting high while he's speaking, but please try to pay attention to the points that he makes. He's going to throw a lot of facts at you, and there's a lot of information, but pay attention to the bullet points, okay? It'll make it a lot easier on you. Just try to walk away with his overall observations. Once again, what is this thing doing? Fucking YouTube, dude. YouTube is fucking up.
That in order to warm something up enough to change from one state to another, like changing these ice cubes from solid ice to liquid water, you have to shove in quite a lot of extra energy to convince the molecules to start jiggling around in a more liquidy kind of a way. So as these ice cubes take in energy from their surroundings, they warm up to 0 degrees Celsius, which is the freezing point. But they're still solid ice. In order to get them to change from solid ice to liquid water, still at 0 degrees Celsius, you have to put in an extra 334 joules of energy for every gram of ice. And that extra energy is what they call the latent heat of fusion. But here's the thing that blows my mind. Once you've done that, and you've got liquid water at 0 degrees Celsius, you put in another 334 joules of energy for every gram, and you heat...
What, honey?
You don't hear that?
Hear what?
That.
That's him shaking the ice in his glass.
Oh.
All right.
I was tripping.
All right. Here, let's go back a little bit. Because what he's saying is very technical, and he makes what I think is a very big mistake in telling you this information that is just kind of not relevant to the conversation. So you'll hear that. He's going to talk about this massive increase in temperature, and you're like, dude, it's not going to get that warm. He's like, well, it's not going to get that warm, but... So then listen to what he says.
For every gram of ice. And that extra energy is what they call the latent heat of fusion. But here's the thing that blows my mind. Once you've done that, and you've got liquid water at 0 degrees Celsius, you put in another 334 joules of energy for every gram, and you heat that water up from 0 degrees Celsius to 79 degrees Celsius, which is basically scalding water. And that's why the scientists are a bit worried about this whole Arctic sea ice loss thing.
Okay, so important. That point that he just made there is so important. So let me reverse. I forgot to reverse the image. That point that he's making is so important, you guys, and it's confusing. So understand why he said that, okay? Listen to why he said what he said.
Hello, welcome to Just Have a Think. Now, just for clarity, no one's suggesting that the Arctic Ocean is going to start heating up to 79 degrees Celsius. That really would be the end of us. But the same principle of latent heat diffusion does apply in the Arctic, as we just looked at in that glass of water. As long as there's ice in the ocean, then all the heat energy is going into the ice.
So you understand what he said there? He's like, it's not going to get that hot. He said, but the same thing applies to this whole concept. And he was basically talking about taking ice and turning it into boiling water. He was talking about the energy required to do that. Okay? That was the point he was trying to make. He took it way too far, and it might confuse you, but I'm going to take you out of that confusion. Okay, listen to him. I know this is going to be fast.
Trying to get it to turn into water. But as soon as the ice disappears, then all of that heat energy from the sun can be devoted to warming up the water, and that will most certainly make several degrees of difference, with all sorts of pretty catastrophic consequences. So lots of research institutes keep a very close eye on the state of the Arctic each year, one of which is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, in the United States. NOAA produces an annual scorecard each December, and this is their latest one. It's a comprehensively peer-reviewed document which draws on a huge array of reference sources, all of which are now scrolling up on the screen behind me. I'll leave a link to the full report in the comments section below so you can go and have a look for yourself. And in the course of the next 2 videos, I'll be taking a look at some of the highlights from the report. The report actually considers a whole host of indicators in addition to sea ice. There are 7 vital signs outlined here: surface air temperature, terrestrial snow cover, Greenland ice sheet, sea ice as we've already mentioned, sea surface temperatures, marine algae, and tundra greenness. Far more than we can possibly cover in a single video, of course. So I'm going to focus on sea ice in this week's video, and then we'll take a look at some of the other key points in subsequent programmes. The report points out Arctic sea ice cover varies substantially over the year, with end of winter ice cover generally being 2 to 3 times as large as at the end of summer. Sea ice is an important element of the Arctic system. It acts as a barrier between the underlying ocean and the atmosphere. It limits the amount of absorbed solar energy during the summer due to its high albedo, or reflectiveness, and it provides a habitat for biological activity and limits human access to the Arctic Ocean. This chart shows average monthly sea ice extent in March 2018 on the left and September 2018 on the right. The magenta line indicates the median ice extent during the period from 1981 to 2010. The minimum extent last year was on the 23rd of September, and this was tied with 2008 and 2010 as the 6th lowest extent on the satellite record at 1.63 million square kilometres, or 26% less than the 1981 to 2010 average. And the 12 lowest extents in the satellite record have all occurred in the last 12 years. According to the report, observations of Arctic sea ice extent have shown decreasing trends in all months and virtually all regions, with the September monthly average trend for the entire Arctic Ocean now standing at minus 12.8% per decade relative to the 1981 to 2010 average. The extent of sea ice, in other words the surface area that it covers, is relatively easy to measure, especially now we've got these satellites looking down on the whole shebang. But surface area only tells us part of the story about the state of the ice. If we want to get the full picture, we need to know how thick the ice is and how old it is. Older ice tends to be thicker and more resilient to temperature increases in the air and water compared to younger,
more resilient.
In 1985, the oldest ice comprised 16% of it.
You guys, that is the most important point of this discussion. What he just said. Older ice is more resilient to melting. What we're seeing is the older ice is disappearing. It's being replaced with newer ice. So anytime somebody says, but the NASA pictures say, look at all that ice. Yeah, it's new ice. It's thin ice. It doesn't last as long. And as soon as it gets warm again, that shit's going to melt even faster. Okay? Okay, so just pay attention to that one little point right there. because it's important.
Tends to be thicker and more resilient to temperature increases in the air and water compared to younger, thinner ice. In 1985, the oldest ice comprised 16% of the ice pack. In March 2018, old ice constituted 0.9% of the ice pack. That means it's gone down from 2.54 million square kilometres in March 1985 to 0.13 million square kilometres in March 2018. That's a 95% reduction. Measuring the thickness of the ice is much more difficult than measuring the surface area, simply because most of the thickness is underwater and therefore not visible. NOAA gets data from various sources, including a radar altimeter called ESA Cryosat-2, which has been operating since 2010, and more recently, NASA's ICESat-2, which is a laser-based altimeter that provides an even more accurate picture. According to the report, the thickness increase from October 2017 through April 2018 was less than normal, resulting in a relative decline in mean thicknesses over the winter. Ice volume estimates representative of ice extent and concentration in the central Arctic verify the below-average ice volume gain over this interval. NASA themselves also talk about Arctic ice thickness at their own website. Here's their take on the situation. The Arctic Ocean's blanket of sea ice has changed since 1958 from predominantly older, thicker ice to mostly younger, thinner ice. Working from a combination of satellite records and declassified submarine sonar data, NASA scientists have constructed a 60-year record of Arctic sea ice thickness. Right now, Arctic sea ice is the youngest and thinnest it's been since we started keeping records. So that declassified submarine sonar data then? Well, as I've mentioned in a previous video on this subject, if you're spending several months of the year patrolling and surveying the depths of the northern waterways, you will need to surface from time to time. And when that happens, you'll find it extremely helpful if you know how thick the ice is that your submarine is going to have to break through in order to hit fresh air. So the US Navy make it their business to know more or less to the millimetre exactly how thick the ice is. And thanks to Patrick McNulty, whose ocean mechanical thermal energy conversion design we featured a few weeks ago, and who runs a Facebook forum called Ocean Tunnels, we have access to those declassified charts. In fact, Patrick has been able to provide charts that allow us to look at maximum and minimum levels for every year from 2012 right up to just a couple of days ago, March the 7th, 2019. Let's look at the March charts first of all, which show the maximum coverage for each year. If you look at the colour key on the right-hand side, you can see that the scale goes from the very dark reds at the top, indicating ice thicknesses of 5 metres or more, down to the very pale purple at the bottom, which denotes thicknesses of less than half a metre. In March 2012, the majority of ice in the open water was between 2.5 and 4 metres thick.
Listen, Dead Joe Camel, if you don't think it matters, then go ahead, keep living your life the way you're doing it, and ignore me, and ignore all of this. Because I couldn't give a fuck about you, bro. And if you end up not having what you need when society collapses, remember this conversation today, okay? And remember me, because I'm laughing at you.
With some 5 metre thick ice clinging to the southern coastlines. As we go through the years, you can see that the very thick ice is beginning to decline, and by the time we get to 2017, there's far less of the yellow and red colours at the land's edge.
Hey, Jan.
By March 2018, those colours had all but disappeared completely. And here's what the Arctic sea ice looked like on Thursday of this week. Not only has the thick ice not reappeared, but if we flick back and forth briefly between this year and last year, you can also see that the open water ice, which last year was mostly in the 2 to 2.5 metres,
now this is the great.
is now firmly.
This is great, guys. Everybody, pay attention to this point that Dead Joe Camel is trying to make, and let me just rebut it really quickly, okay? What he says is the ice is already in the water. If it all melts, it doesn't change the fact that the weight and volume doesn't change. And what Dead Joe Camel doesn't know, because he doesn't study this, is that there is a whole shit ton, mile after mile after mile, of glaciers that sit on the coastline that are sitting on rock. They're not sitting on ice. They're not floating. And when those fuckers melt, that's when the level goes up. But Dead Joe Camel, like I said, he doesn't study this, and I wouldn't expect him to understand it. So, go look it up, bro. Now that I told you, now you know, okay? And now you understand that it's ice that's on the outside of the ocean that's making the water levels rise. And yeah, there is sea level rise. Otherwise, Miami wouldn't be flooding right now, homie. Do you understand that? Oh, and now he says it's not melting. But it is melting. And maybe you should, Dead Joe, man, you should take your fucking head out of your ass and just Google a couple things, bro. Because you don't know. I'm kind of glad that Greta Thunberg is doing what she's doing because of people like Joe, because at least people will know the facts. You know, at least they'll be able to look at some of the shit that's going on and be like, yeah, now they're aware of it. Because people like Joe, your head's so far up your ass, bro, I can't wait for society collapse and you don't have what you need to survive. And people like you that are sitting here trying to refute it, that are bringing other people down with you, you're going to get exactly what you fucking got coming to you, bro. And I'm going to be sitting here fucking fully off grid, laughing. Understand that. We understand. Yeah, Steve Running says already flooded in Florida. There's flooding going on all around the world. And there's people that are literally on the coastlines in various regions around the world that are having to migrate. Okay? They can't live on the coast anymore because it's literally the sea level is rising. And that's the evidence. That's the only evidence we need, Dead Joe, to prove you wrong. It's happening. You know, there's literally rivers off the land of ice water that's just flowing into the ocean right now. No, you're missing the whole point. That's all new ice. That new ice. If you'd listen to this, you'd know what everybody else already knows, Joe. Do you understand? It's just kind of going right over your head. That's what the whole topic of this is. If you'd shut your fat fucking mouth for 2 seconds and watch the video, you'd understand that what you're saying is completely wrong. It's literally, he literally explains it all.
Down in the one.
And this is a guy that studies it. This is a guy who had to have a really good understanding of things like this because he was working for oil companies and he had to determine the damage that they were doing on the environment. He had to go and look at the environment where they were going to drop a frack mine or an oil well. He had to go look at the environment there and he had to say, now, if there's an oil spill, this could happen. We're going to lose this species of animal. This might create this or that or the other. That was his job. So he literally studies it. Who the fuck are you? Some guy on the internet with some weird name. Who the fuck are you? You don't, dude, you just proved to everybody here that you don't study anything. You're not studying it. You say New York City water level hasn't risen in hundreds of years. Dude, your head is so far up your ass. I don't know what to tell you.
Back at the NOAA,
I can't help you, bro.
Further worrying observation.
Like I said, I'm going to laugh at you.
Of Arctic sea ice over the
because you got it all figured out, Joe.
Ice in the Bering Sea through the 2017-18 ice growth season. The Bering Sea supports a vibrant sea ice ecosystem with abundant seals, birds, and other species that critically depend on the timing of the sea ice formation and retreat. It's also an important commercial fishing region. Ice typically begins to form in the Bering Sea around the beginning of October and expands through the winter before melting away through the spring. According to NOAA, for virtually the entire 2017-2018 Bering Sea ice season, the extent was at a record low. During February 2018, typically the height of the winter season, the Bering Sea actually lost significant ice cover. From the 7th of February to the 23rd of February, ice extent decreased by about 215,000 square kilometres, dropping from around 59% to only around 26% of...
Dude, Dead Joe Camel, no you're not. You're not shit. All right? You don't study dick. And you're just now you're just going to lie to us and try to say, oh, I'm a biologist. You're not. And listen, does a biologist study climate? Does a biologist study sea ice? Or the melt or the levels of the sea rising? Is that what a biologist studies? You're an idiot. You're nobody, dude. Look, get off my live stream, bro. Go away. You're a fucking liar. You're just a liar. You're just going to say whatever you want. We're going to educate ourselves. You go away, all right? You go live out your life and you see where your fucking Mr. Know-It-All attitude gets you. That's exactly how I wanted to say that.
Normal levels. And this report from March the 7th, 2019, by Andrew Friedman for the website Axios, tells us that it's happened again this winter. For the second straight year, Friedman says, the Bering Sea, a turbulent and bountiful stretch of the northern Pacific Ocean, is virtually ice-free at a time when it should be gaining ice. This is the richest fishing ground in the US, featured in the Discovery Channel's Deadliest Catch. Friedman spoke with Rick Toman, a scientist at the Alaska Center for Climate Assessment and Policy. Toman's view was this. 1 year maybe is a fluke. 2 years sure looks like we've crossed the threshold now.
Happy 420,
Zach
everybody.
Levy,
Cheers.
a PhD candidate at the University of California at Irvine and creator of these superb graphic representations of Arctic sea ice loss since 1979, also contributed to the Axios report, saying, although the past 2 years have brought historically low Bering Sea ice conditions, year-to-year trends there can fluctuate considerably. Levy goes on to say, some years may see temporary upticks in Bering Sea ice extent, but that overall, climate change is now in the driver's seat. The impact of this dramatic reduction is significant, says Friedman. March is normally when people would be crabbing and fishing out on the ice. That's not happening now. Communities exposed to high seas are seeing severe erosion and threats to their infrastructure. The loss of sea ice could change ocean temperatures, salinity and currents enough to alter the distribution and abundance of commercially valuable fish in the region. The stakes are high here, as the Alaska pollock fisheries alone was worth $413 million in 2017. It also portends consequences for the lower 48 states and beyond. In a new study published in Earth's Future on Thursday, scientists warn that Arctic climate change is already reverberating far outside the region. So what about the September minimum sea ice levels again? Well, let's go back and have a look at those Navy charts from Patrick McNulty again. This chart shows the September minimum from 2012. Obviously, you can immediately see the dramatic difference between the winter maximum we looked at earlier and the summer minimum shown here, but that's perfectly normal. What you can also tell from the colour key, though, is that back in 2012, there was still a fair quantity of that old multi-year 4 and 5 metre thick ice just above Greenland and the Canadian archipelago. The thicknesses were similar in 2013, and then we see quite a bit of variability in the subsequent years running up to 2017, by which time there really is very little multi-year ice left. Then when we arrive at last September's chart, although the surface area coverage looks relatively large, you can clearly see that it's an almost universally thin layer, less than a metre thick, and even right down to only a few centimetres out in the open waters. This wafer-thin ice is extremely vulnerable to being broken up by severe weather. One big storm, and much of that light pink stuff may well have disappeared. Unsurprisingly then, the greatest level of concern and anxiety, and frankly speculation, amongst the climate science community, is about if and when the Arctic will become ice-free in September, with the consequent very rapid warming of the water that we looked at right at the start of the programme. It's what's come to be known by the climate scientists as a blue ocean event, or BOE. Now, just for clarity, when they say ice-free, they actually mean a quantity of ice that's less than 1 million square kilometres, which still sounds like an awful lot of ice. But in the context of a maximum extent of about 15 million square kilometres and an average minimum of about 6 million square kilometres during the 80s and 90s, 1 million square kilometres is actually a statistically insignificant quantity. And crucially, it won't be one big blob of ice in the middle of the water, it'll be little pockets of ice here and there, much of which will be clinging to the shorelines, leaving a vast quantity of open ocean exposed to the full force of the sun's heat. Some of the more strident climate commentators have been predicting a blue ocean event every year for the last several years. Well, it hasn't happened yet, and NOAA's stated rate of decline in surface area of 12.8% per decade that we looked at earlier would suggest it may not happen until the end of the century. But the Navy charts of ice thickness do seem to suggest a rather more urgent dilemma, and given what we can see on this latest chart from just a couple of days ago, it looks likely that this year's September minimum ice cover may well turn out to be the most fragile and vulnerable layer of ice yet. One thing's for sure, if and when we do get a blue ocean event, our global climate will change very rapidly and very significantly, and most likely irreversibly. There's much more to digest from this fascinating report, so as I mentioned earlier, we'll definitely be returning to the subject in future videos. But that's it for this week. I hope you found the video informative and helpful. If you have, please do give us a like and share the link with your social group. We've actually just this week reached another milestone in the channel's development as we pass through...
So there you have it. Just a unbelievable turn of events, because when I was a kid growing up, we didn't know this was going to happen, and I always thought that we were going to go explore outer space just like Star Trek. I thought the human race was going to keep going to the point that we advanced, that we were going to master space travel. We were going to find other planets, and that eventually we were going to find other life forms. I always thought that growing up. And man, I stopped believing that shit As soon as I found out about this, I was like, oh, we're not going anywhere. That ain't going to happen. We're never going to be able to get to that level of technology. You know, we just don't have the time. Everything's working against us now. You know? Well, listen, you don't have to worry about the events like Greta Thunberg is. You know, she's acting like there's something that we can do to fix it. You know, too bad Greta Thunberg wasn't born in 1945. You know, but she wasn't. And that's what it would have taken. Hey, Kathy. That's what it would have taken, you know, to at least start cutting back on the emissions to save humanity. It would have been addressable. We were, but at 1937 we were suppressing technology just by banning hemp and cannabis in 1937. I mean, that's the thing that really killed us. Think of all of that clean energy, you know, where instead from 1937 on we were chopping down forests for paper and just ruining the planet, you know, clear cutting. Cannabis was banned in 1937, Lucid. 37. And, you know, that is when we basically allowed ourselves to kill ourselves. You know, collectively. That's what we did. There's so much technology around cannabis, so much renewable, so much, you know, green energy. Everything could have been replaced with hemp and cannabis. We would have had hemp fields everywhere. It would have been so healthy. We wouldn't have had all this pollution that we have. Oh, it's too late, Zach. It's too late. You know, it's too late. And all those trees are going to be dead soon anyway. You know? It's so much on so many. And you know what we could have been using for fuel? It's just you know, we had the solution, and now people are like, hemp can save the world, hemp can save the planet, we could plant 20 million trees, we could save the world. None of that's gonna help. It's all it's not even a drop in the ocean. You know, it's not even a drop in the ocean. It's just too late. So what can you do? Well, you can stop denying it like Dumbass was doing. You stop denying climate change. It's real. Understand people are migrating. You know, people are dying. You know, we're going extinct. And start, you know, preparing like you see me doing. You don't have to do it on a large scale. You know, you get yourself a small house with a solar system enough to power that house with a well that runs on that solar power, and plant a garden, put up a greenhouse, and start, living sustainably on your own. You know? You get fired from your job, hey, it's okay, you're growing your own fucking food. You can't pay your power bill, it's okay, you're solar now. If you can live like that now, then you'll be prepared. I suggest security, I suggest medicine, so you're growing cannabis, I suggest, that you do what you can now to prepare for that. If you're living in an apartment in the middle of the city somewhere, you are fucked. You are fucked. Because when that power goes out and your water shuts down, you're going to have to fucking migrate. Just like those people on the coast. Antibiotics. Thank you, James. Thank you, James Simon. I'm glad you're here, son. Antibiotics, if you guys can get them. Very important to have a big supply of antibiotics, because you're not going to be able to get that shit. No, Zachary, why don't you explain to me what that means? I don't know what that is. James says stock up on food, water, and try to live as long as possible. Get meds. Yeah, and don't stock up. I mean, get yourself a source of water. Get yourself a source. If you stock up on water, it's going to be gone sooner or later. If you don't have a source to keep filling it up. So, and hey, you know what? Check this out. That guy that came in here and thought he was all hot shit, the Arctic's not melting. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Hey, if I'm wrong, then you got yourself a little house with solar and water and security. You grow some cannabis, and you got some antibiotics. And a few guns, hopefully. Ooh. But if I'm right, aren't you glad you got all that shit? And if that guy's wrong, and you don't do what I'm telling you to do, you're fucked. You are fucked. Just like he's gonna be fucked. Mr. fucking New York City, whatever the fuck he said he was. Biologist. Mr. New York City biologist. Oh my god. The shit people will say. That studies this. Yeah, I study this. Okay. Have a lot of canned food, a lot. Stock up on water. You can also supplement antibiotics with fish antibiotics from the pet store. Billy Ballantyne says you can supplement antibiotics with fish antibiotics from the pet store. Worst thing's gonna happen is you can sustain yourself and not depend on your government. Lucid says Cliff bars. If you're looking for a protein bar, it's gonna sustain you when you're living off grid, or the apocalypse does indeed happen. You're gonna be looking at various types. You're gonna want to go with the best, and of course, Infowars.com offers the best protein bars available on the market. What you're gonna do? You're gonna look at these. You're gonna taste them. We've got peanut butter, which is one of my favorites. We've got the chocolate. We've also got the caramel bars, and I highly recommend you try the caramel as well. I sometimes I like to take one of those bars and break them in half because they're so ultra potent. I take them into the bathroom and I take a razor blade and I chop them up and I snort them. They're so good. I made you laugh. Or of course you're going to want to look at our water filtration systems, which are of course for water purification. You're not going to find anything better. Or you take our water purification systems, against anybody else. We've tried, we put ours against Culligan. We've done the zero water. That's all bullshit. I literally will piss into a glass and pour it into our water filtration system and drink it for you right now on this show to prove how great our water filtration systems are. And let me tell you, my piss tastes fantastic when I do it. You can do that too. If you're interested in drinking your own pee, you're going to want to try our water filtration systems. So, of course, that's Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.com. We're all over the internet. We're everywhere. You're going to want to watch my podcast. Of course, my appearance on the Joe Rogan Show, which went very well. Joe and I go way back. We're great friends. We like to go out bow hunting from time to time. And we'll discuss, various things like our off-grid living techniques, our hunting skills, and sometimes I like to tell them stories. We sit around the campfire and roast marshmallows, and I like to tell them about all the times I've gone out and had various things happen to me way out in the woods. These are things you generally don't get to see. It's not like we're filming them or anything like that, so we don't bring a crew with us. It just, it's nature happening. And the only way to relay those stories, of course, is the art of storytelling, which is something I believe we need to keep doing. We all need to keep telling those stories. Of course. Act my age. Fish. Would you need a lot of fish antibiotics to equal the dose of a human, says Kathy. We're talking about fish antibiotics now. I know. Oh my God, how long have I been live for? Oh my goodness. You just...
Right? Like, what do? Bake them in a fucking pie?
The
How
fish...
Yeah. Fish food is like flakes. They're like little flakes, right?
Yeah, Billy, what's the form of... It's... Billy... What's the form that the fish antibiotics are? Are they drops? I would think they're drops that you put in the water, right?
Really?
Are they drops? Billy, are they drops? What form is it in? Billy.
All the fish would be getting antibiotics. That would be in the tank if they were dropped.
You have to isolate it in another tank, maybe. I don't know. I'm guessing. I don't know. I think if the fish was sick, you wouldn't want it with your other fish anyway.
Very intense for a fish.
James says, talk to Guy McPherson. You really need antibiotics, local anesthetics, and morphine. And you spelled McPherson wrong, homie, just so you know. I had to take dog wormer once to swallow dog wormer. Your ass had worms, Billy? What? It's in drops and pellets, says James. Fish antibiotics. Yeah, they're drops. They come in 16-ounce bottles. Huh. So that's just something everybody could buy right now. And then you got some antibiotics in the house. That's great. You got your little Z-pack.
Garlic's an antibiotic.
What?
Yeah.
Garlic is an
Raw garlic.
Raw garlic
Yeah.
is an antibiotic.
Straight up.
Okay. Oh. Like a giver rat says. I just got lots of garlic. Best is to buy fish amoxicillin.
It just sounds so funny. Like, who the fuck is a fish from amoxicillin? What? It's a fish. It is a fish, people. Like, hold on, let me get my fish Operation Blood Transfusion.
He says when you work with animals, sometimes you catch parasites in your butt. Bro, you got worms in your butt from hanging out with animals? I'm just kind of wondering how that whole transfer process worked. What was the vehicle there exactly, Billy? Billy, was it? Hey, Billy, did it sound something like this? Billy. You, my friend, are very good. You are very good, my friend. Yo, Tonzi, what's up? Hi, David C. Baker Jr. David C. Baker Jr. is here. Anyway, those of you guys that had appreciated that scientist that was explaining to you guys the difference between old ice and new ice in the Arctic. His channel is called Just Have a Think. It's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe his channel. He's got 5,000 subscribers. He's looking to go to 10,000. He said on that video, I don't know how old that video is. He might be past 10,000 by now. I wouldn't be surprised. He's really smart. So go check him out and please follow his channel, guys, okay? Just Have a Think. Marla, right on. You've had worms twice. Eating African antelope from putting llama shit in your mouth and spitting it at your dad. Billy, you are so crazy. Fish Aid Antibiotics. Oh, James, thanks for the link to Fish Aid Antibiotics. Amoxicillin. There it is. There it is, guys. Amoxicillin. Scotty Yarbor, what's up? I'm going to grab that link right there, son. Let's go ahead and grab that. It's from Chewy. Chewy.com.
I love Chewy.
Yeah? That's funny. It's a funny name. Wow, it's only $20 for antibiotics. For control of common bacterial infections in fish. 100 capsules.
That's how many you're supposed to take then.
Zach's like, how did you know you had the worms, bruh? Yo, Billy, bruh, how'd you know you had the worms, bruh? Did you get some worms up your butt, bruh? What'd you do, bruh? How'd you get the worms in your butt, bruh? What do they got a condition, bruh? What'd they call that, bruh? You gonna do some dabs, dude? You gonna dab, dude? You gonna do a dab, dude? Make you forget about your worms in your butt, bruh? You gotta say bro after butt. You gotta say dude after dabs. Rare is in not cooked completely. How did you know you had the worms? What's up, Nate? Jeffrey, you rock. Hey, Nate, what's going on? Hey, Robert. These are crazy questions, and only Billy Ballantyne can answer. Only Billy knows the answer to these questions. Hey, you. Where are you going? Hey, hey! What are you doing, you little bulldozer? No! Is that how he says hello to you? I'm sorry. I know it's a pain in the ass. He has to come over and run over the cat. Hey, Rogan. You want to go outside? Let me let my dog out, guys. Hold on a second. Rogan, come here. Rogan. You're so cute. What are you doing, buddy? Come, you want to go outside? No? Carl says you want to go outside. Carl's like, fuck that shit, it's too windy. Carls does not want to go outside. All right. Sure about just a disease. What did I miss? But you can. I had worms because worms were slapping. Bear meat can give you worms. Well, you shouldn't be eating bear meat, guys. In my opinion. She got egg worms. Wild boar worms. God, you guys know about all kinds of worms, don't you? Fuck, man. Makes me want to just like eat shit that grows on trees, like up in the air and shit, like apples. Speaking of which, we've got some. Thank you so much for this link to Fish Aid Antibiotics Amoxicillin Capsules. You all have the ability to purchase amoxicillin. It's good. Oh, Joe Rogan talking about this today? I haven't even seen that yet. I saw he was talking to that guy about being out in the wilderness, but I just started watching it. I didn't get into it because actually it was kind of boring. It was kind of boring, a little bit. It was boring me just a little. We need to get an anti-parasite and antibiotics for sure. All right. This has been a fantastic discussion. Buttworms and boar worms and antelope worms. And what else were we talking about? Worms from fucking chicken yolk. Worms from anywhere else. It's a lot of worms, guys. And I suggest if you get worms, you get rid of them. That's my recommendation. Yeah. Get rid of them fuckers. That's my professional opinion. Oh, Marla wants to know what the dosage is, James. Is the dosage... What's the dosage when you're taking fish antibiotics? You probably have to take a lot more of those, huh? Than what you give the fish? Google Joe Rogan worms. When you go to bed, he said. Who can't say pinworms? Go the flashlight at night when they're asleep. Never had a treatment against Kathy. Pinworms? Ugh. Oh my god. I don't even want to know. Man, now you're making me want to walk around with fucking shoes and shit. 500 milligrams 3 times a day, says James. And that is, oh, those are 500 milligram tablets. So you just take 3 of those a day. It's usually a course lasts for a week, right? Of antibiotics. That's cool. Thanks, James. James, right on, buddy. There you guys go. And now, of course, if you go to our website, you're going to find your Fish Aid antibiotics, amoxicillin capsules, fish medication. you're not going to find this anywhere else, except, of course, you can go to Chewy.com and get them. But that's if you want to just pay $19. Of course, ours are $55 shipped. You guys, thank you so much for watching my show. I will see you guys on the next one. Happy 710. No law regarding cannabis. You say it out loud. No law regarding cannabis. And please support me, guys, by going to Twitter, following Trendy As Dabbers, going to Instagram, following Trendy As Dabbers, and retweeting and sharing anything that you see me share on Facebook or anything that you see me post anywhere on the internet. Retweet me, guys, and retweet me at all those people that I mention all the time. Okay? Go to my website. You can get their addresses, or you just go to Twitter and see who I'm tweeting at. You know, if I say something mean to Donald Trump, like it and retweet it at him. Say retweet at Real Donald Trump. Okay? Help me out, guys. Thank you. Okay, I hope y'all had fun. I'll see you on the next show. Bye-bye.